Coming to you live on the backs of 3,000 cats per second. Right on out into the interwebs at 4:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, EST. Oh, how we've missed you. Welcome back. Really been missing that sleep ever since we lost it. Back in the spring. Getting back to the mouse. Sorry, Nick, even though you're not watching. Even though you went to sleep. Sorry.
Well, maybe we should just angle the camera, the laptop, to where you always end up gravitating toward.
Yeah, but that's going to reduce the amount of that wall.
Right.
That's where we're planning ahead here. We're kind of set up for what we want to do, and the things we aren't talking about yet, but have planned. Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, okay, good. Would you say there be dragons?
Something like that.
Oh. I like that the good friends hanging out. And it's approximately 4:20 Eastern Standard Time. We should see who's online. Do you know where your children are? Oh, yeah, right. Why is no one watching my show? All I hear is coughing and no one's showing up. Oh, wait, there's someone. You must be quick. That's probably Matt. Matt probably followed the link I just sent him. Like a smart lad. Someone who knows me and has been exposed to, some of my creative content creation in the past. Might not be familiar with the entire perspective and the full breadth of my technological and multimedia prowess, but hi there, sir. I see. Okay, so what happened? If you are Matt, then I'm going to tell you why. But if you aren't Matt, then I'm going to tell you what the reason for me reaching out to Matt was, because I think it's relevant. He was complaining that he had just, he had a legitimate gripe that Steam lost his save file. He was doing something with his Magic the Gatherings, and he lost his work, his time, his effort, and so.
It doesn't matter what he was working on. Anyone losing your information that you've been
right, exactly. The effort you've put in is just like, oh, boom, there goes all that time. I know. I've had save games just gone, gonzo. I was actually just talking about the other day. One of the main things that hurt Fallout New Vegas was that the release was glitchy, and some of their really early adopters had save games with just all of this time committed, and then they came across these just fatal errors. And it's just, yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Right. When you're talking 30-hour, 40-hour video games, yeah, that sucks. And a game like Magic the Gathering, are you kidding me? Oh, man, I've played those ones. I think, what did that one take? Probably like a couple months out of my life. Took a big notch out of my life when I got one of those ones for free on the Games for Gold. So yeah, no, I totally feel you. I get it. I understand. What I'd like to let you know about, just as an alternative perspective, not trying to come at you from an angle of, oh, you're just wasting your time, you know what I mean? But just from like someone who can commiserate, someone who's, a gamer for life, growing up playing video games. I mean, look, and it's thinking Mountain Dew and Doritos for life, and pizza and cupcakes all night long, yeah. Yeah, now I'm drinking grape soda because I had to switch off the caffeine, but it's still good. So yeah, no, I hear you, and I don't do the video games so much. I mean, I'm looking to get back into it. But I don't do the video games so much. Instead, I play life. I do personal growth, and I try to learn new skills and enhance new skills, because that feeling that you have, that need that you have, that you fulfill with video games is really just a creative exploration. It's really just a problem-solving, challenge-seeking need. And, obviously video games are a great interactive experience, and they're a fun way to fulfill that. and old
Social
people are
interaction.
stupid. They don't understand like video games are a good thing for your brain and for your hand-eye coordination and all that. This is not an anti-video game. This is pro Matt because you're if you're I'm talking about Matt, maybe I'm not. Who knows? But Matt is an awesome dude, very talented musician. He's a poet and a lyricist, and I've seen him perform live, and he's a really talented individual. And I think that if he spent more time on just marketing and branding himself, if you really explored some of these other content distribution channels, I think that you would really be able to at least get a sustaining resource flow developed there. I really do. I mean, I have confidence that you could do that. So my suggestion is do similar to what I've done. A couple months ago, I was just, I stopped. I just stopped with the smoke, and I stopped with the video games. I stopped with the time and the money spent on things that were not productive. Some negative, but some just more neutral or productive in different ways, but not just really just productive and focused on advancing myself, advancing my career options, advancing my revenue streams, my freedom, my access to freedom. And I've seen I know you have your freelance stuff. I've seen that going on there, and I also saw some posts regarding some discouragement with the job market and such. And so, I know you're sympathetic. We've talked about this before in the meat space, but now it's all about the robot space because I have a distributed friend force. I've built distributed workforces. I've built distributed teams that collaborate on online creative projects together. But now I'm building a distributed community that collaborates through this central hub, through the benlive.tv hub. And I'm going to extend out the benlive.tv domain to become more of an interactive, engaging place. But in the meantime, we're really trying to get people over into the YouTube so that you have the YouTube chat room. Get into that, the YouTube page with the persistent ad on the side. We like that. Obviously, the goal is self-sufficiency here, and so we want to try to generate some ad revenue so that we can continue to reinvest that. I eke it out. I make it on just the bare minimum work on my back sort of labor, and it sucks. I would like to be living off of, my intellectual abilities and my creative capacity, and so I'm working on that. I'm developing these different multimedia attempts to, have content, have a verifiable, tangible, digital asset collection in the cloud, available and ready, just there. If people want, well, who's the Ben McNulty? Like, well, there, benlive.tv, go check it out. Hours. You can watch for hours, and
I wanna add up all the hours that you have, just so we can keep track. So when we reach certain numbers, we can celebrate it.
Right. Well, and instead of putting all of these hours into video games and into self-destructive, sort of selfish behavior, I'm putting the hours into this. I've created, familiarize yourself with the agile methodology if you can. Look it up, Google it and that sort of thing. Because instead of a task-oriented work, you have more of a product-oriented, process-oriented. The team is the deliverable, and so I'm applying that sort of mindset to my own place in the workforce, and so I'm the deliverable product, and I'm enhancing the skill set that I have available, and so my time is for sale. Essentially, it's a very real, logical, broken down view of I sell my time in exchange for the resources I need to sustain my life, and it's a raw deal out there when you're working for just the closest, the least they can legally pay you, or the least they can legally pay you to get you to go there instead of the place that pays the least they can legally pay. There's a raw deal out there. I mean, you might have the student loans like I do. I don't know how you're fine. Whatever, it's your business. Everybody has their own deal. But I got a lot of them. I got 80 grand in debt, and I'm getting hit for that. So I have $300 a week to survive on. And that's not enough. It's not sufficient. And so my first job doesn't cut it. My second job is improving my first job. And so instead of having, instead of spending time and investing time enhancing my video game characters in an RPG fashion, I'm enhancing this guy. I'm enhancing BenLive.tv. I'm enhancing that deliverable product through the sweat equity and the thought equity of myself and my time. And
instead of working another job.
right, instead of going out and finding some other deal where I'm giving up my time for less than it's worth to some other slave driver, where I'd just be stuck forever and doing that and just have no time to myself or to spend with my partner and our pets and enjoying our lives.
The older generation might not understand why you're spending
Right.
time to put into this and think you might.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go get a second?
Yeah.
job?
Why don't I just go get a second job if I want more
Always
money?
be stuck
Right.
with
Then I'll always just have two shitty jobs instead of one job that kind of meets the needs barely, but it does. And then my second job is the thing that I really want to be doing, the thing that I enjoy, the thing that actually fulfills my creative needs and helps me to feel like I'm contributing to society. Because I think that we need this. I think that we need personal branding, personal marketing if we intend to succeed as millennials coming into this world at this time, having only had access to this economy and these economies, this 8, 16, 32, however many years you want to blame for it, it is what it is. Here we are. It sucks. And we got to find a way to have multiple revenue streams and grow multiple revenue streams so that we can have access to the resources we need to live. And the resources we have beyond that, we're investing in this shared mutual investment. The BenLive.tv is part of the Forgotten Genius Productions. I mean, if you want to do a podcast, if you want to do audio, you want to do radio and stuff, like I need music. I need people who are into that side of it because I'm very much doing, the visual and the 3D and the graphics and the tangibles. Amanda's more into the tangibles. She's the one that bakes the cake and makes the T-shirt.
The cats.
Herds the cats and
whatever
and so we're all kind of
that you can do
right right, absolutely. And so that's it. I mean, you do really neat stuff. Like you're a poet, you're a rhythmic poet, and that's awesome. And I appreciate that art form, and I would really appreciate your collaboration in this project. Obviously, I'm a slave myself, and so I'm not in a position to free people. But the first line item on the budget, if you go to benlive.tv, it's right there. The project outline, the explanation of all this stuff that I'm talking about, it's written out. There's a business plan. There's a budget. This has been months in the works. This is not just something that I started today. That's part of what we're talking about here. We have to remind ourselves that other people have perspectives of other things. We have our limited perspective of what we've seen, but we have to be aware that there are sites have occurred beyond the realm of our ability. And so the more we can bring together the collective perspectives and the collective abilities of other creative people and other people who we trust to add value to our communal efforts, then we can thrive in this world. We can be successful in this world. We can build a mutually beneficial, cooperative content creation outlet within the capitalist society that actually is more of a mutually beneficial sort of, I want us to function in a socially liberal, fiscally conservative way. We don't spend money we don't have. I mean, this is a $10,000 budget. It's very minimal sort of technological investments, studio side investments. We're building a home office studio that is our all-in-one solution for personal branding and small business branding. And it's just, it's a marketing hive. And we're looking for people who have talents that they want to contribute and have time to collaborate with us and are willing to do. I mean, I'm putting myself into it. So I'm putting my money into it. The little bit that I earn beyond what meets our basic needs here. We have other needs that need to be met, but this is an investment in our future. This is an investment in what I want to be doing for 30 to 40 years. I don't want to spend the rest of my working years out there as an undercompensated slave for other people. I want to work for the betterment of myself and my family and my friends and my audience, my community, the people who think like we do, and the people who are willing to reasonably logically discuss what we're doing with our time, why we're doing things the way we do them on this planet. It's insane that we just accept this ridiculous world and this power structure that we inherited without second guess and without questioning and without saying, hey, no, That's why we're branded as lazy and entitled, because we have no incentive and no motivation to engage in what is clearly a broken system. And it's not that it just was working fine and someone came in and broke it. No, it was built to fail. I mean, it was, it's inherent. It's part of the structure of it. It's planned obsolescence at its worst. So, until we develop an alternative means to sustain ourselves and sustain the resources we need for life, we're going to be dependent on a government entity or a corporate entity, and that's not going to work. So I want us to build a corporate entity that is really just our family, friends, and community, and free thinkers, creative types, geniuses, forgotten geniuses, people who are being exploited, people who bring so much intellectually to a job that they're not compensated for, because these job roles are just defined as physical labor tasks. And the fact of the matter is, when you're performing a role like front-facing customer service, if you're a wordsmith, if you can form coherent thoughts into ideas and translate them, if you can get those words into other people's brain holes in some way in real time, you're adding more value to those hours than you're being compensated for. And so we want to just work in a more direct compensation mode, to where your tangible assets, your digital assets, your creative output is going to be monetized. Yes, we have to. We're playing by the rules. We're just going to try to be really good at it, and we're only going to play with our friends. I know it seems like a crazy idea, but it just makes sense if you sit down and think about it. It's like, why do you go out and try to make money with a bunch of strangers when you could sit at home in front of your computer, wherever you are, or here? We got room here. We're inviting people here. If you're local, if you're proximity based, even if you're not and you have means to sustain yourself, I don't know, become proximity based, because the home office studio is going to be a part of this production. And so if it becomes a multi-person collaborative effort, then that's a good thing. That's where we want to go with it, and hopefully we can use those efforts to generate enough revenue and get enough capital available to where we can get that $10,000 for 1 quarter, because that sustains the Ben's freedom and all of the recurring expenses, as well as provides all of the initial startup investments to lift this minimum viable product up to a more professional level, brings it up to a professional quality that I think is worth a national level exposure. I think that we can really grow our brand from that point when we have that level of product. And when we talk about the potential for ad revenue and that can be created when your YouTube Live is still in beta, and we haven't even begun to see they now have a streaming service, an ad-free subscription service, and so we don't even know how that profit model is going to work for viewers and for content creators. But if you're a content creator and you get longer viewership, it's supposed to be more profitable for you. It's not just a quick views race. It's more of a sustained content stream thing. And if we're doing that that's the target here. That's what we're doing here. We're trying to generate a steady flow of content. And so the metrics right now might not be so impressive because we're still dealing with a multi-view count sort of world. What we're doing is building the infrastructure and the process to thrive and succeed in the post ad block monetization structure of YouTube, of the internet content distribution medium of the future. Surprise, Google's going to be where you get your content from too. Did you ever think that the people who were selling you the ads didn't want to also sell you the content? They were just giving it away for free so the ads would have something to ride on. Give you an excuse to need their ads. But anyway, it's not all about that. It's also about community building and engagement. And I was telling Nathan earlier, excuse me. I was telling Nathan earlier, Sue is one of our other revenue sharing sort of networks, and where we get compensated for the eyeball traffic we generate with our ideas and our original content. And, there's a community there where people engage freely with ideas in ways that they don't necessarily do on the other larger networks, because there's some privacy there. The larger networks have such reach into our lives that you've got your bosses and your coworkers and your family and your relatives, your elders, and people who have all different sorts of roles in your life. And on Sue, it's more just all randos because it's only a year old. It's a much smaller, newer network, and so it's full of randos, and you can build a new community of content creators and creative people, and you can
Unless
meet.
you invite your friends and family, they're not going to be
Yeah,
there.
right. Unless you invite your friends and family, they're not going to be there. And I'm telling you, even if you do invite your friends and family, they're probably not even going to show up, because I've tried to get people to come in there and take a look at it, and
They all think it's crazy.
yeah, they all think it's just this crazy pyramid scheme. And I'm telling you, what you're doing out there 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, that's crazy. That's a pyramid scheme. If you think that all 20 of you are going to get the same one boss role that it requires to move up that corporate ladder, you clearly don't understand how statistics work. Because yes, one of you is going to move up, and eventually another one will move up as that one moves up and such. Of course, there's going to be an influx, but you're going to stagnate, you're going to plateau.
That's if they don't bring in outside.
That's if they don't bring outside people, right? Because it tends to be when you get to a certain point, they're just rotating at that level. There is no upward mobility beyond that subsistence, that poverty level. I mean, that's where it is right now. They've eroded the middle class to where you can't, you can, but it's very difficult. It's not as attainable for the average person to just work their way into a stable, comfortable living. It's basically a war of attrition where you're being threatened with resource deprivation. You're being forced at the point of a gun to go out and work, because if you don't, you are not allowed what you need to live. And it's rough, but that's the hand we got right now. So we just kind of got to play it. We got to play it, and with the idea that we can build something not dependent on the system. We can build something that's self-sufficient. We can build something through creative alternative approaches to revenue generation, resource generation. We can figure out ways to build the future ourselves, because we have to. If we don't, then there just won't be a future. We have to. Millennials born in the 80s, early 90s, we're coming up to age now where it's no longer just punk kids. We have an actual voice. We are reasoned, mature adults, and we understand the way the world works in an experienced, wizened way now, and our opinions do matter, and we are reasonable, rational, and logical for seeing that this system is broken. Our political system has been bought. Our corporate system is the same power structure that was built on oppression and patriarchy and just exploitive models throughout time. And so as long as the same people, the same slim minority, the same ruling wealthy elite are in power, then things are not going to change. And we can sit here and toil away every 4 years and try to fight it on a large scale public way, or we can do a benlive.tv every day, 9 to noon daily sort of thing, where we just come together and we start building our alternative. We start building our independence. We start working toward our own self-sufficiency, because all of these other models, all of these other means toward self-sufficiency, they all have this sort of drawback of laziness and greed, exploitation, and excuse me. And I think that if we're going to avoid that, we need to create these sort of mutually held, mutually beneficial, shared investment projects. We need to all care about what we're working on. When you don't compensate an employee enough for them to make a living, and you don't offer them any incentive, you don't offer them any sort of paid compensation for the additional sales that they generate for you, then there's no incentive for them to be on team profit. Okay? And if you're not giving them enough to sustain themselves, like, you're an aggressor, essentially. You're waging war. Corporations waging war against you if they're not providing you the living that you give 40 hours of your life to them, and you don't get a living in exchange for it. And you can say, oh yeah, well, it's a voluntary work sort. No. you gotta work. You gotta have a job. Otherwise, it's, oh, you're just a lazy freeloader. You know what I mean? It's it's a damned if you do sort of situation there. So what I'm telling you is, yeah, you gotta work and you gotta take one of these garbage jobs. For now, that's what I'm doing. I'm working the garbage job, and beyond that, I'm not looking for two garbage jobs. No, I'm building the real future, the real career, and the real opportunity. And it's going to take a lot of people. It's going to take collaboration. It's going to take a mutual effort. And I think that there are a number of people who would like to be a part of this. And that's, I'm not inviting people into this just because they're random and they have a pulse. The names that I list on there is like, yeah, it's becoming a wider brush because I'm not getting as much response from some of the people who I really thought, I don't know if they're just busy. I don't know if they're not seeing. Not sure what it is. I mean, I know I'm putting a lot of hours of content out here, but I think it's becoming pretty clear what I'm trying to do with this. And, a lot of people I've contacted directly. I don't know. They're doing other stuff. Maybe they're not hurting as bad as I am, but if you are, then, this is something that I'm doing to kind of feel like there's hope for the future.
I was on the Ben Live Facebook, and I clicked on visit website.
Yeah.
Okay, and it takes me to benlive.tv.
Right. And it's the intro to millennial economics?
Yeah, it's not a live broadcast.
No, I know. If you hit play on it.
It's not the live broadcast.
I know, but does it have a button for the live on there?
It's loading. Oh yeah, it does say live feed.
There. Yeah, so if I'm not live, it doesn't just say offline. It has the intro video to the conversation that I'm having. And if I am live, they can just click on it and jump right over. And hopefully if you click on that, it brings you to the YouTube page. Or does it just load it in there? But is it, are you seeing this yet? Is it still loading?
Sorry to interrupt there.
No, that's fine. That's all right. That's
it starts. No, this is your introduction to the economics. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you hit the live connection? I mean, there's a live feed link on the main page as well.
Feed that I'm hitting now.
Okay. And that brings you to YouTube.
Yes.
Okay, that's what it's supposed to do because it's monetized on YouTube. I don't want you on the domain. If you're viewing, yes, I want you to come to the domain. The domain's the easy way to kind of bring you in. I want you on the YouTube because that's where the ad revenue is. That's where the ability to sustain this and to enhance the product that we're bringing to you is. So if you don't have the tangible assets to be like, oh, well, I'll just contribute with PayPal on those links right there. And, $10,000, sure, I got that. That's in my discretionary spending for this week. Of course, I'll do that. If that's not you, if you don't have it like that, if you don't have a fleet of yachts, I'm with you. I feel you. Same team. But when you watch the stream, when you engage with the content here and you become part of the audience and help us out with the show in that way, then you're actually generating revenue for the show, with the ads. That ads generate, I mean, it's small. It's, fractions of cents we're dealing with, but they add up, and so if we get enough people viewing this, then of course it can sustain itself in that way. So, we're exploring multiple revenue streams because we want them to all be working together for this collective goal. The idea is that if I can reach $511 of sustained weekly revenue, then we essentially have a $10,000 operational expense covered. The initial investment and our operational expenses quarterly throughout the year is covered. We don't need that $10,000 initial investment if we can reach the $511 of weekly revenue without it. Over the course of a year, we will be able to get all of those things purchased with what that affords us beyond just the proven needs that I have as a human being. Like I'm surviving off $300 in cash a week, and if I can generate that through this project on a sustainable basis, then I don't have to go out there and trade my time anymore for less than what it's worth. I can just do this, and then that opens up 40 more hours of my week to put into this. And that asset, that there's incalculable value my 40 hours a week when dedicated to a creative project of my own design, of my own direction, with collaboration of my peers and people who I respect, and opinions whom I value. If I'm bringing in the collective efforts of all of these people, then obviously, it's going to be incalculable value reached within those 40 hours. It's much greater than just a $300 a week sum. So let's see here. I see that Crash is online. I'm gonna just drop the link into Crash because he's a friend of the show now. He was in here talking on the in the chat room. He was suggesting we call WMNF. He's there. That's Cecil Griffin. The Rev Doctor. I'll send him a personal link invitation in the chat because he'll appreciate it. Let's see. Is there anyone else who I should drop one in there? I think everybody else is just kind of always online. He's the only one who just recently appeared on there. That's good. The servers are down right after the release. That's tip. They take them out real quick. They never even realize just what they need. It's poor planning. Yeah. Yeah, so we've done the last 3 days, we've been talking about the millennial economics. And so tonight we kind of want to have a little bit more fun. We want to take a little bit more relaxed approach. And eat some cupcakes, eat some pizza. Did you put the pizza away?
No, it's still hanging out.
Yeah. Eat some pizza, eat some cupcakes, and, enjoy some things in that fashion. Just bring back a little bit of the relaxation. Because it's been very much, it's been the office, As far as our home office studio dynamic goes, there was a while there when we were transitioning between Ben TV and Hack Life when it was all about the studio. We were really pulling together the studio, and now we've gotten to a place where we kind of feel like we're utilizing the resources available, and we've got some room to grow here, and we've got some options available to us with what we're doing here. And so we moved back into the office because we had some tangible assets. We had some printing to do. We had some graphic design to do. We created some business cards. We created some T-shirts. And I did some guerrilla marketing at the rally up there in Jacksonville. I went to the Trump campaign stop, which is not exactly a friendly crowd for my sort of antics and my methodology, but that's how you're supposed to do that. If you really want to start, it's a growth thing. This is practice. I'm constantly practicing to be better in the future.
It's just way to be seen in a black sheep in the crowd.
Right, exactly. You're going to get noticed very easily when everybody's like, hold on a second, this guy seems a bit too wacky to be a staunch conservative. Right, yeah, exactly. And so it's a good way to enhance visibility and recognition for the brand. And so although I might not bring in a lot of audience members or sympathetic ears, they are going to recognize it when they see it. And so that's going to help us to really just, when we really start to hit that growth curve, there's going to be this already established underground knowledge of our existence. And so it's like an innate credibility you can generate. This is growth hacking. I'm a growth hacker, and I promise you this works. Like, this isn't, you're just seeing it at a very early stage. It looks like I just look like a crazy person on the internet right now. But people who know me, people who are familiar with the work that I've done, people who have worked as my supervisors or as my subordinates or as my peers in any fashion, whether it be academic or professional, people who are familiar with the capabilities and the intellectual capacity that I have understand that there is some potential here. What I'm doing here, this BenLive.tv idea, has capacity to generate some serious revenue. And, I just want the $300 stream. I just want the freedom so that I can really explore that potential, so I can start to expand it. Because once I bring in enough established, sustainable $300 chunks of revenue, I can start liberating other people whose time is undervalued and who's undercompensated for the real work that they do and the real life commitment that they give to a corporation. I'm going to make a better offer. I want to have a better offer available. And although it might not have a lot more of this, it's going to have the needs met. We're going to have the sustainable method for meeting the needs, and the resources that we actually need. It's not about the money; it's about the resources. And so, if we develop the methods to sustain that resource production within our own means, within our own community, then it's just what we can do, what we're capable of doing within our own time, what we want to learn to do, how much we want to branch out and expand our skill sets, and how much we want to commit to doing it. That's all. It's I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to explore freedom and potential, and it's a inherently American idea, and it's just a shame that the job opportunities that are out there in the meat space, the non-robot space opportunities, those are just they don't respect it. There's no consideration for the humanity within the human resources. There's no understanding that if you have someone who's psychologically healthy, physically healthy, and really cares about what they're doing, is invested in what they're doing, and they might be emptying trash and selling diabetes, but their life is being sustained by it. They're making an honest living, a livable wage for their time, and so they're going to want to protect that. They're going to want to sustain that, and they're going to want to work for that. I mean, you see what people are willing to do for poverty level, just because you've got them in a corner like a rabid dog, and they're trying not to bite you. They're just scraping away a little bit of food where they can out of the corner, and and so it's time to loosen it up and let let us have a little breathing room there, and try to grow that middle class again. Try to build a future middle class here, And I don't want to be in poverty for 30 to 40 more years. I don't want to work until I die. I want something to work towards. I want the sort of retirement freedom. I mean, really, I want to have an occupation. I want to have a job function where I don't feel a compulsion to want to retire because I would enjoy what I'm doing. Or, I want to have something that complements and assists my life and benefits my life. I don't want to be working against myself as a means to sustain myself. I sell nicotine and alcohol and caffeine and sugar
who don't need it.
to people who don't need it, and to people who haven't earned it, and to people who really don't need it, and and I'm just around it, and I don't want to be around it because I'm trying to get away from the stuff, all of it to some degree,
Hashtag pizza, hashtag cupcakes,
hashtag pizza,
grape soda.
hashtag pizza, cupcakes, and grape soda. Yeah, I mean, it's delicious and I love it, and that's just, hey, I'm pretty good with a lot of them. I'm pretty good with a lot of vices. Yeah, we quit the smoking. We've never had much of an alcohol issue, so that's never been yeah. I've had the same bottle of booze in the cabinet now for a year, 6 months to a year. I mean, before that, it was another bottle that sat there for about as long.
We traded it for that one.
We traded it for that one. We didn't even drink it. We traded it because it was just yeah, sure. You can have this one. I prefer that kind. I had some vodka or something in there that we'd gotten on a whim that we just.
Oh, it was I was using it for cleaning stuff.
Yes, she was using the vodka as a cleaning solution. So we traded
raspberry flavored.
It was raspberry, yeah. So we traded it for some, I think, whiskey in there now, or is it rum? I think maybe there's some dark spice something.
So I'm cleaning with that. Wait,
No, don't clean with my brown liquor, please. Yeah, I mean, it's 4:57 a.m. on a Sunday. We probably should drink some liquor. No, I'll wait.
That just sounds horrible.
No, I'll wait till the church services start. I'll wait till the 9 a.m. to noon Ben Live Ministries services. But
Oh, you have some beers with that Britain.
yeah, have some beers with that Britain. Maybe he'll come by. I mean, I'd like to have him on the show. I mean, I hope he understands. There's not a bouncer at the door anymore, but that doesn't mean there's a censor in the house. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we've really moved the conversation away from this sort of individual network focus anyway. So he's on Facebook. I think I saw him appear on there at some point earlier, not now, but yesterday. So, well, that Britain, he was a guest on Ben TV and Hack Life for a few times. I haven't seen him yet on Ben Live, but maybe he'll come over, have some beers with us in the morning. That'd be fun.
A little nightcap.
Yeah. Well, I think in about 2 hours we'd be able to go buy some Platinum if we wanted to get some beers. Can't buy alcohol until 7 a.m. on a Sunday in this county.
It's not bad.
No, that's not bad. If you really need alcohol at 6 a.m. on a Sunday, then you really need to not be able to get it. I'm okay with you not having access to it. And I work third shift. I get that it doesn't mean you're an alcoholic, but if you can't wait till 7, it probably does.
You camped out in the parking lot?
Right, you're camped out in the Walgreens parking lot waiting until the liquor starts flowing. You got a problem. So they're like, yeah, I got a problem. The liquor store ain't open yet. That's why I'm camped out.
I have a problem. I ain't drunk.
I got a sobriety issue to deal with. No, we shouldn't joke that and take that so lightly because we don't have those problems. Other people really do. But so not so much that one. But the caffeine, I got pretty bad caffeine dependence because of all the things I try to accomplish in such a limited amount of time. Pretty bad with the sugar because it tends to ride with the caffeine as well as all of the flour and carbs turn into that. The caffeinated drinks.
Aren't salty, are
No,
they?
they're not salty. They're
That's
definitely
disgusting.
that is disgusting. So lots of sweet
It's
beverages.
caffeinated brine.
Oh God, caffeinated brine. Gives me the get up and go in the morning. Nothing like a brine swab.
Nice cold fizzy.
Cold fizzy brine. Amanda's being wretched. At Stupid Waffle, earning her title. So yeah, I mean, we do self-improvement stuff here. I do screencasts. I do front-end web development. And, I'll tailor the direction toward the interests of the party we're talking to. I mean, if somebody wants to be the focus of the personal growth campaign other than myself, then by all means, we'll talk about what we can do for you. We'll talk about what resources are available, and I'll direct you to the ones that I know about. But I'll also go out there and I'll find other ones that might apply better to what you're trying to do. I'm just not familiar with them because they don't necessarily apply to what I'm trying to do. And maybe they do. Maybe I'll find some new stuff in that exploration as well. I'm sure I will. So it'll be beneficial for everyone. And so, of course, beneficial. Yeah, beneficial. That'll be a good one. Beneficial, yeah. Well, I mean, we can, benlive.tv is a good domain space right now, but we can explore when we start to get into trademarking and copywriting actual, limited liability situations. We might have to go through one more rebranding. Right now, Ben Live, because that's me. I'm live, right? Ben Live. There's no copyright, there's no trademark, there's no implication. No, I think you did, absolutely. So we'll put the nip on that one right now. Yeah, absolutely. I like it. It's pretty good, I guess. I don't know. Looking at some social media stuff.
I sent a couple of, I invited a couple of people to like your Facebook page.
Oh, cool, thanks. Yeah, I should do that. I don't know if I've sent out invites to like yet.
Just my cousins. I don't know if
Yeah.
bitten or not.
Right. Well, I need to do some rebranding and such on the not some rebranding, some initial branding. I haven't done a lot of two-dimensional work because I'd really like to get the three-dimensional stuff going and then just do two-dimensional captures of my three-dimensional assets. That's the ideal way for me to work in 2 dimensions. Because if you know me and you know my graphic style, I'm more of a composer. I like to composite images. I use existing things to compile something. I'm not so much, I don't do so much with the unique creation and the graphic generation, but I can bring existing elements together. But working in 3 dimensions is more of a sculpting space, and I tend to work better in a sculpting space than in a 2 dimensional format. So I work to my strengths, and I create things in the 3 dimensional virtual space, and then use the 2 dimensional capture to create those graphic elements that way. And so I'm working on that. It's fun stuff. We actually a whole new way of processing, whole new rendering engine, rendering format. I'm learning right now, so that I can really get caught up with the times on Blender. Because it's been a while. I mean, it's been what 5, 6, maybe 7 years since I've been, actively practicing and learning that suite of, it's a single application, but it's a number of tools within there. There's a number of views for the same project when it's a 3 dimensional virtual space or 4 dimensional virtual space because it moves in time through animation as well. But yeah, I mean, it's 5 a.m. Eastern Standard on a Sunday. But it's a good Sunday for us to broadcast early in the morning as well because people will be waking up earlier because they all just got an extra hour of sleep without realizing it. If you were sleeping when the time changed, you don't even know, and you're going to be like, oh, why am I awake so early? Well, you got the same number of hours of sleep you always get. Your body doesn't care what the numbers say. It just cares about the actual difference in time. So I'm going to bring this up, if you're seeing this part, but maybe you weren't here for the first part or for whatever reason. I'm actually experimenting with posting a second counter, moving the YouTube counter to a certain position so I can post these, gigantic videos. I mean, the first stream before our Comcast fell, I think we went for about 6 hours. That was the last time I remember seeing. So there's going to be a 6-hour video on there when that's done processing. And so a way that I can share that is with specific time pointers. I can actually, make a unique link that when you click on it, it will jump to that frame. And that will allow us to kind of share out, each section in its own part. But you're still going to be getting the video from that point forward. You're still going to be going forward from there. So if you're just joining us and you weren't part of the earlier broadcast, then I'm going to show you some stuff here. And hold on for me 1 second, because that's not what we wanted to be there.
So what happens if I try to click the share option on Sue and share to Facebook?
Well, I don't think that your link will be clickable, unfortunately. This is what I think happens there. But there's the Sue. There's the cupcakes we made and ate earlier.
Because I wanted to share that because I really like that image. I like the editing you've done to it, and so that's the only way I have access to it.
Yeah, no, I don't. It won't be if it shows the image, and it does that on Twitter. It shows the image, but it's the original image. It's not the edited one. The way that I was able to get it.
Oh, it doesn't keep the aviary.
You want this one? I'll save this one to the. I'll put it on the Ben Live, and then you can share it that way. And I'll show you how I did it. What I actually, the aviary edits. In order to do it, you have to do a screen cap. So what I do is I go and I open up the post. And then I'm gonna scroll to the images entirely.
That's how people steal other people's images.
That's how people steal other people's images, absolutely. But I'm just doing it because I own this content and I'm gonna put it out on another network, and there are mechanisms in place that make it so this is the only way you can steal. You can't just right click download because they embed it into the web app.
Right.
They protect your content more than a lot of other networks because
that's why we like
that's why we like Sue. Yes, exactly, because it's better at protecting our content. But for what we're trying to do, it enhances these photos, and they're only enhanced in Sue that way, and then the links don't work when you put them in the other networks. So we're working on our workarounds. We're fighting back against the preventative measures that the major networks are taking against the growth of Sue, and so we're fighting back. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my function key, and I'm going to print screen. And then I'm going to open up GIMP, and I won't set up the broadcast for this. I'll just talk you through it. You're just going to have to take my word for it. I'm opening up GIMP, and it's going to go through its little startup load here.
Now, for people who don't know what GIMP is an open source.
Yeah, GIMP is the open source photo editing software. It's a photo editing application alternative to something like Adobe's Photoshop. GIMP is the open source alternative, so you can do your photo modifications, your photo enhancements, things like that, without having to deal with rights and all of that. You don't have to pay for it, for starters. It's not monetized. They're not charging you to be creative. They're allowing you to utilize tools. These are tools. Nobody's trying to claim royalties on the hammer. So, these sorts of software, graphic design tools are very similar. It's a similar set of tools because it emulates the tangible, real world, design tools. So So yeah, I think GNU Image Manipulation Program, GIMP, and that's so we can have our graphics. And it has a neat function in here under the edit. It's paste as new image, so we can actually use our clipboard asset of our screen cap, and then we can paste it. I'm not sure why that's doesn't want to show me the GIMP right now. Oh, okay, so I'm looking at there. Okay. And so I can paste it in and it creates a new image of the correct resolution. And then I'm actually just going to export it because I have an easier way to crop it. But you could use GIMP to do all of your cropping and stuff like that. But I'm just going to export it here. And we're going to go ahead and call that. What did we call the... I don't know if we called one cupcake already when I put it out there earlier. But we can call this... I did sprinkles, yeah, but I did a number of them. So I'll just do cupcake, and I'll use my camel casing. I'll make a cupcake final ping, and then I'll just make sure that I put it in the correct location here so I can find it. Then desktop, there we go. I'm not just leaving it on my desktop. That's just where I stopped telling you about the directory, Shane. It's actually somewhere in a folder called robot space. Cupcake final ping. And go ahead and export it there. Are we done? Did it do it? Oh, there's probably... I know what it's waiting for. Whoa there. There's a settings box that was behind the broadcaster because the broadcaster insists on being on top of everything, which is okay. I mostly prefer it that way. Alright, so we've exported our screen capture of the cupcake, and now we are going to just close that file without saving because we only need the exported ping file. We don't need the production file that we were, similar to like your Photoshop document, your PSD file. GIMP has its own production file, so you can save some of your edits and your templates and your layers and your guides and some of your assets that don't need to be a part of the final product because they would just add bloat to the file size. So you use a different file format. Your portable network graphics, your minimalized bitmap file format is what we use for photo quality. So where am I there now? I have to pull it up in my other graphics manipulation because I prefer to do my cropping after I've saved it. I use GIMP to pull it in because that nice paste as new function is just really helpful. I don't have to kind of guess at the document size that I want. It just figures it out for me. It's really, just find it to be really helpful. So let me navigate to my robot space. Let me open that up with my graphics editor here. There we go. And then where's my there we go. I'll go ahead and crop it down. I'll bring it in close and then do some more fine-tune editing. Okay. Now let me switch over to my actual mouse and bring these corners in nice and sharp. We didn't use a frame on this one, so we want to make sure we get pixel perfect. Don't lose any of those really vibrant colors that we got there. So what is that? 641 by 644. That's probably not right. That's probably closer to right. Let me just zoom in here. Sorry, I'm having trouble on this monitor. Is not ideal for this sort of work, but work with what we got. I guess it would help if I didn't insist on editing across two axes simultaneously. Might be a little bit easier. Okay. So we're at 640. Cool. 640 by 640. That appears to work. Okay. Is that good? No. Is that a... I don't want an edge. I'd rather go too far in than have a white edge on the left. I think I did 635 on the other one. Aye. Okay, that's got to be good, right? Yeah, that's better. 635 by 635. Okay. Close that out there. And then let's open up that guy. I think we can come back over here for this part because we're done with the graphics work, so we can use the touchpad again. The less precision input device. This precision input device is very important. Solid investment we made in that quality mouse there. Mouse pad to make it easier to work with as well. I probably shouldn't show that, but no, it's alright.
You should look at what I just shared on
Oh yeah, on which one? On the Facebook?
the Sue.
On the Sue? Okay, good.
I have to store the image.
Really? Well, I'm about to put in the cupcake one on the Ben Live so you can share that. Oh, eyeball itches. What? Robot space, there it is. Cupcake final. Oh, yeah.
Well, I figured out how to share the Instagram images on Sue.
Oh. These are the cupcakes made during Ben Live tonight. Hashtag Ben Live.
So you can tag me in it.
I can tag you in that? You want me to tag you in that?
Yeah, well, because I wanted my family to see the cupcakes I made.
Yeah, good.
That was the reason why you just did all of this.
Oh, okay. Okay. Scroll back up over there. And put the projector back up there on monitor 1. Okay. So these are the cupcakes made by Amanda. Why isn't it showing up? Are you a friend of the show?
Yeah. Well, you can only like it. You can't be a friend of it.
It's not letting me. It's not coming up with the tag thing on there. Because usually it's just when you type, you don't have to use the @ name, right?
Use the autocomplete.
Yeah. I mean, it's because I'm posting as Ben Live, probably.
Oh. That's okay.
Well, I can share it and I can tag you when I share it. So these are the cupcakes made by Amanda during Ben Live tonight. Hashtag Ben Live. The all night marathon broadcast continues here with a link to the YouTube.
Because I was looking back at the hashtag original cake that we made before, and you never gave credit to the.
Yeah, I did.
Not directly in one of the images of it. You didn't mention I'm not talking about the cupcakes. I'm talking about the cake.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Hashtag original cake.
That's just one of the posts I saw. It didn't
Oh, no, it wasn't in all of them. It was this one. Hold on, I'll show you. We did there you go. The cake baked by @StupidWaffle. Photos taken and edited by Ben McNulty. Content distributed by Ben TV.
Oh, I guess that describes
That was the only place I gave credit for any of the activity.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was the photo essay complete post. That was the last post after. I didn't really do one for the hashtag cupcakes that we were doing. I didn't do a summary post like that. I just did the one final shot there. But yeah, I did give you credit as the baker. Because you did a good job. We liked the baking. We liked the baking of the cake. No, it was good. It looked really good. We got a lot of activity on that post.
Oh, yeah,
I bet we'll get a lot of activity on this one too because it's really vibrant. It's got good coloring.
That's an amazing picture. That's why I wanted it.
Yeah, so I actually need to pull that one off. Come on, Tab. You get to be in your own world now. So I can do this privately. Alright, let's switch on over to using it as the personal account. You've already shared and interacted with it.
Yeah, I'm all over that shit.
Yeah, that's good. So I don't need to go mention you. I was going to it so I can mention you in the comments. Well, I mean, now I'll go to the page and share it.
How many other people have an Instagram account and only follow 2 people?
Yeah, right.
Their sister and NASA.
She didn't just bake them, she made them, so. Thank you, Amanda Diamond, for making these delicious cupcakes. For me to because you took the photo, but for me to eat on Ben Live. Good, they don't lose too much on a high resolution zoom. Pretty high resolution photo still. Because I mean, it's only 600 and something. I think it's 635 by 635 pixels, but it still looks pretty good on a HD. Yeah, it's a shame Aviary doesn't work the same way anymore. Because I would definitely like to be able to, just do those ads. I mean, I guess we should just be using GIMP is what it is. I should just use GIMP to do what I do in Aviary, and then have the content be modified that way. I mean, have that asset, that photo is the modified version. That's the only one we post anywhere. So yeah, it's a nice change of pace from the constant economic and work type discussions. So much work type discussion. All of our meat space marketing. I mean, if you look back in the video, you can see we just went straight from our meat space marketing right into our millennial economics, and there's just very little break. And there was one comatose episode there. I didn't show up because I was just out cold from all of the activity there on Saturday last Saturday. So the last time that I had the opportunity to broadcast during the prime time, I was already just worked out the whole day. You know, was outside doing the guerrilla marketing the whole day. Was working, you know, jumping up and down in the hot sun at the landing, yelling at Trump. You know, and so making eye contact with the brand master himself. Yeah, getting my brand in front of some important eyeballs. You know, but yeah, so. This is the first week for Ben Live to really just relax and do our prime time overnight marathon broadcast. Means 5:30 a.m. with a bonus hour in there tonight. So, you know, we're already an hour and 20 minutes since our last hashtag Comcast fail.
Did you see there's a digital marketing group on Sue?
I'm not sure. I might have.
Yeah, it's got recommended groups to join.
No, the groups are still beta, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I told you that Al.
Yeah, you told me that Al. Yeah, I want to look into that.
Deep into that.
Right. Yeah. No, I definitely want to look into that. Not at this moment.
No, I know.
Too worky for this moment.
No, I know, and I think at some point you should reach out to him, but maybe not ready for that.
No, not quite there yet. We want to put another level of polish on our broadcast before we start to get that kind of that level of exposure. You know, if I start getting hashtag Comcast fails during really important broadcasts, I'm gonna flip out, and I don't need that kind of stress. I don't need that, you know, stroke-inducing level of stress.
Take care of that $30 hole in the wall first.
Yeah, we need to take care of the $30 hole in the wall, and we need to take care of the modem.
$30 lack of hole in the wall.
Yeah, lack of hole in the wall. We need to spend $30 on getting someone to drill a hole in the wall. Just because they don't use regular coax anymore. If they just use the regular stuff, we could do it ourselves. But they have these special connectors. I don't want to mess with it. I want it to be all on them. That's the goal here, is to say that, okay, it's entirely your network. Any network failure is entirely on Comcast's end, and I will just sit here on the phone with them during the live broadcast. But at this point, it's all okay. Well, it's our old construction maybe, or it's the subpar modem that we rent from them, which is definitely their fault. But it's a known issue on the internet. We've seen out there that these combined modem routers are garbage, and so we're already in bridge mode. I'm already bypassing the router functions and using my own router, but I need to just go ahead and invest in the cable modem. Have the DOCSIS 3 cable modem that I can use anywhere else that I have a cable broadband access. So, it'll be an investment in the studio long term. And again, we're talking about $110. It's not too much to try to generate there in the contributions and the fan funding through YouTube and the ad revenue through YouTube. I mean, it's kind of a lot for the ad revenue right now because we just don't have the viewership that we would need. But hopefully, when we start to see what the YouTube Red monetization structure is going to be like, we can start to get kind of because we do bulk content here. We do a lot of just long time streaming, lots of streaming, because that's kind of the idea, is that I want to have this public sort of presence, my personal growth and my career development and my content production, I mean, you saw tonight that there's pretty decent photos coming through there. I mean, there's good shots, and the editing kind of helped to enhance them.
How the photos looked.
After being edited with aviary, after a little Photoshop work, you'd be surprised. Yeah.
That one episode of South Park.
Yeah, it is definitely. Yeah, absolutely. It's very similar.
Oh.
So. I don't know.
Remind me not to ask you to edit a photo of me.
Oh, jeez. No, I need the blender.
Oh.
The 5:32 a.m. on Sunday, so we've been going all night. That's fun. It's fun to be able to do that again. I miss that, Yeah, right. Hashtag zombie life, right? We're living the zombie life. This is when it started with Ben TV. We called it zombie mode, and then we switched over to zombie life and the hack life, and we're just sticking with the zombie life conversation because Ben Live is the all-encompassing outlet for these other conversations now, and the zombie life is, we just get to a point here where I'm just tired, it's late, and I'm used to being awake at these hours, but your body's just like, no, it's nighttime, you should be sleeping. I'm just like, no, I can't be sleeping, because if I sleep now, I won't be able to sleep later when I have to be sleeping, so I can wake up when I have to be awake. It's very difficult to just force yourself to act against your instincts to sleep on like a daily basis. But it's the zombie mode. It's zombie life. Hashtag zombie life on Ben Live. Fighting our need for sleep to bring you content and be, I don't know, just hanging out. It's a remote hangout tonight. We're hanging out on Halloween remotely. I don't know, it's kind of a cool idea, I think. It's an interesting aspect of what we're doing here.
Yeah, we're drinking juice.
And drinking some juice.
Be right.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's 5:30, but it's really like 6:30 as far as the sun is concerned. So it'll be, at 6 a.m. you're going to be feeding the kitties, right? Isn't that?
Sunrise, 6:38.
6:38, yeah, so.
That's the kitty feeding time. If there are any.
Oh. Wah, wah, wah. Stop reaching for the mouse over there so I can maintain my position on the floor here. Maintain the shot.
Found the vegetable oil in the foyer, by the way.
Oh, that's good. Pretty sure I didn't put it there, so.
Yeah, well, I was using it to I couldn't find the WD-40 in the
Oh, yeah, makes sense,
front
yeah.
door was squeaking and you were sleeping.
Uh-huh.
Heck,
Pack life. Yeah, no, those cupcakes do look really good after just a few minor tweaks. I mean, it really wasn't
they
much.
look like a hot mess in real life.
Yeah, but the photo did a pretty good job of capturing them, and I think that, I mean, you see what I do. I'm pretty good when it comes to photo editing and visual enhancement,
I put those cupcakes on a plate and then I put it on the floor directly under the light.
Oh, okay,
And
so
then
there
I
was,
had
yeah.
the camera like an inch away from the cupcakes.
Mm-hmm. No, it's definitely high
The
quality.
light was right above them.
Yeah, no, that's good. Looks good. I like that one too.
That one was taken out here.
Mm.
It was no, those are on the cooling rack. That was.
Uh-huh. It's black
Was it on the
underneath
glass
it.
table here? Or is it on the
Doesn't
towel?
look like glass. It's on the towel.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is in the kitchen. I think you took that one.
No.
You took the. Which ones did you take?
Um.
The batter ones?
Yeah, I took that one. I took the batter one, the first one.
There's only one batter one.
Yeah. Well, those and the cups, but no, you took all the other ones that I posted. That one. And that one. Just sitting here looking at them talking about them, not showing the screen. Look at the lump. I took the lump.
Yeah.
Photo of the lump. Doing the little Ben Live, blending it in there. I actually used the whitening, the effect that you use to like take the yellow off of your teeth, I guess, in your photos. I used it to lighten the color of the table there.
Yeah.
Kind of aged the wood a little.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, it was a fun thing to do. And did the focus on the Ben Live there in the corner, so you can kind of see the laptop there.
Aw.
Yeah, the lump.
That's just a pretty picture.
Yeah, no, it really is, isn't it? It's the colors. I'm telling you, it's this. I found a really good sweet spot there with the saturation and the contrast and the warmth. It's like a really good orange color there.
They're shiny.
Mm-hmm. No, it's perfect. No, you did a good job with that photo and everything, and it worked really well.
That one looks good too.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, I like that one. That one I gave kind of intentionally rustic finish. Gave it a sort of a matte finish to it with the sharpening and the contrast. The over sharpened. Yeah. Good stuff. So it was alright. It was a decent Halloween, you know? Too bad. So I saw we can do polls now on Twitter. So I'm probably gonna put some questions out there. So if you're not on Twitter, you know, maybe you should be on Twitter. You kind of have to have a presence on all of them if you really want to take advantage of every opportunity. Because not everybody's on every network. So if you're on every network, then you're getting access to the largest audience possible. You're covering all your bases, yeah. Because different people will just only engage in certain networks, and maybe that's a person who's interested in your content. They just only engage in Twitter. And they're not going to be on Facebook, and they're not going to be on Google Plus, and they're not going to be on YouTube even. You're not going to meet them on any of those other places unless you go to Twitter where they are. And so, you know, and that's like that. That can be said for any network, that you have to have a presence on all of them if you're going to, you know, all of them have their own loyal, dedicated followers that, you know, if you want to reach everybody, you want to reach the widest audience possible, then you have to go to all those networks. So.
You expect people to come to you.
Yeah.
Have to go find them.
Right. They're not going to come find you. They're not going to come looking for your content. You have to bring your content to them, and you take the proactive approach. Make it easy for them. Yep, absolutely. And you know, and we're going to help people along the way doing that here. You know, LinkedIn's very important when you talk about your personal branding. You know, when you're dealing with your professional life, your career advancement. You want to make sure that your LinkedIn is well developed and reflects your full set of skills. So that when recruiters are utilizing that tool, then you know they're seeing you. You're coming up in those searches because you have those keywords as part of your online resume. You know. And you know, Ben's resume right there, you can see there's a responsive live resume. In fact, here, let me just bring it up. I always go to that mouse because I love that mouse so much. But here's the trackpad. Let me bring up the Ben's resume for you. Growth hacker, content creator, remotely sourced. And so it's got the work experience, the email address, and the LinkedIn and that stuff right there. And, you know, I can easily just get back to my Ben Live main page that way. But so I just make it easy for people if, you know, they see that, okay, so this one-man orchestra is creating this entire thing. What can he do for our brand? What can he do for us? It's like, well, you can see my full set of certifiable skills there. I mean, I've actively done work in all these things. I've done projects in all these areas. You know, some of them are online and some of them are coming online. I'm enhancing my online portfolio. That's the thing that's been on the back burner for a while now because I thought it would be really valuable to add some live video to my online portfolio first because it was important to kind of, you know, if I want to work remotely, if I really want to be not just a remote worker, but be a manager within a distributed workforce, you know, to help to coordinate the workings of distributed workforces. I really have to have a solid online video presence. And so that comes from practice, and that comes from hours and hours of experience that I'm cultivating now. Over the course of months, I've cultivated many, many hours of online video broadcasting experience, and I would hope... Huh?
Just a possibly offensive Halloween costume.
Oh, possibly offensive. I want to see it though.
Bruce Lynn Jenner.
Oh no.
I mean, it's funny, but I could see how some people might be offended by it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a pop culture thing. Like if you're doing that in like 5 years, it's kind of rude. But because it's so relevant still, it's kind of okay.
I guess you have to know the person in the costume to really understand if it's offensive.
Right. Yeah, you have to know their stance. That's for sure.
Sorry, there.
No, it's all right. I'm actually looking at that shot. I'm thinking about you know, how we're gonna change that because I kind of want to get rid of the light switch. You know, get that out of the shot. But the couch is kind of limited there. Let's see.
Couch out on the street.
No, I like the couch there. I just want to get rid of the light switch and see what that opens up. Let's see how that looks. Because that might make my position here a bit better aesthetically in the shot. And it also takes that light switch out of it. But let me see how the couch looks. Thank you, friend, for moving. I mean, we can still see the couch. We just can't see that one armrest there. Which I think is fine. The brightness of this monitor as well is something that I really want to address, but I wasn't having a lot of success with it earlier. So let's see if I can do it now. I need to have enough that I can actually see what it looks like. If I don't have enough brightness on the monitor, I can't tell what I look like in the shot anyway. Turn down the backlight considerably.
Yeah, when I was watching the Futuramas, the Fry's hair was really orange. Like, really neon.
Oh yeah. Well, that's on different input though. It's different settings over there, I think.
Oh, really? I think you would adjust. I thought it was all the same.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. Well, let's see here. There we go. There's the factory default. Bring the backlight back down. Yeah, of course the default is for the backlight to be cranked up. So it has the best appearance in store. I don't know. See, I can't bring up the video stream on there because that's not what's over there. It's the monitor. When I'm looking at the screencast, that's when it's putting that glow, that white glow of the screen. You know, if I were to put this over here, have.
Does that lamp need to be on behind there? Because that was for the blendering.
Yeah, no, I turned that on. No, it does help because it provides another light source other than the TV back there.
What happens if we do this?
No, I turned that on purpose. That helped, having that on, yeah. No, that was a necessary part of the lighting that wasn't on during the beginning of the broadcast. That was what was causing that kind of real pulsating.
Turn on, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at our full screen broadcast over there. Put the projector up, monitor 1. Alright. So what do we have? 5:47 a.m. Coming up on 6 a.m. We got a bonus hour in there today because of the time change. So I think we're going to probably go for these last 13 minutes and then call it at 6 a.m. and just take a break there for a few hours and come back and do the 9 to noon. I want to do the 9 to noon today because it's the weekend and that's our normal time, and it's important for us to be available for that daytime audience that, you know, create that 3-hour Sunday services alternative to the football. You know, the Ben Live ministry is a very important aspect of it. You know, to have a fully developed self, you also have to be very, you know, spiritually and scientifically evolved and mature as a person. And so, you know, it's important to have these philosophical discussions about, you know, our place in the world and all of that. You know, like I've said before, you might know from previous broadcasts, If you come to me and ask me the meaning of life, the best I can do for you is. That's all I got. 42.
42.
Yeah, but no, that's all I got. I don't know. So, and that's what makes me different. I'm a different kind of minister because I admit that we don't know. We can't possibly know. And no one throughout time has known. And anyone who claims that they do, you should be very curious as to what it is that motivates those claims they're making. Because they're very bold assertions to make. So, I think that it's worth looking into. I think that it's insane that we have this cultural idea that discussion of politics and religion is somehow unacceptable. It's like, well, no, it's the way that people talk about it that's unacceptable. Like, talking to people in these sorts of combative, divisive ways is what we shouldn't be doing. But talking about, the philosophy that governs us and the philosophy that governs our existence naturally, biologically governs us.
It's like there's infinite numbers, and it's like saying you can pick the right ones and you can win the lottery,
Right. Yeah, there are infinite numbers, and you just happen to win the lottery every single week. If you win the lottery every week, then I'd believe you. I'd believe you're onto something.
Numbers are the right ones.
Yeah, you know which numbers are the right ones. You don't even have to play them. You just have to write them down and show me every week. I believe you. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure.
Out of all the numbers that exist.
Out of all the numbers that exist, you can pick the right ones regularly every week. It's like, no one that we've known is doing that. And, I'm sure there's going to be lots of people out there during our service that are, well, there was that one. Like, no. For starters, that's like wishy-washy at best, whether or not there was that's even true. It seems more like an amalgamation of personas into one, characterization of an idea. And don't get me wrong, it's a good idea, but it's still a characterization of an idea, not a tangible person, not any barometer of validity for your life and your life choices. So, yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that from 9 till noon today. We'll do our Sunday broadcast. And then Monday, there's not going to be a broadcast. That's not going to happen. Monday morning, I got to take some time off. Otherwise, I'm just going to pass out and then not show up for Tuesday's broadcast, which I think I'd rather do a Tuesday broadcast and just take a Monday broadcast off. That way, we might be able to do some stuff in the prime time Sunday night after I regain consciousness or whatever. We can do some stuff in the middle of the night. Or, we don't have to. We can work on some Blender stuff or some graphic stuff or... I don't know, maybe that stupid waffle wants to just hang out and watch TV, we'll do that. So, got to take time to just relax and decompress and have life experiences to help formulate and stimulate the creative process that we try to perform on live on the internet for you. Yeah. I think it's been a good broadcast. I think it went well. Our first overnight marathon broadcast. We got some viewership. We got a little bit of activity. Got some people coming and going. Had a couple of Comcast fails, but that's just, until we get that $110 budget point, until we get that network upgrade there, that's just, it's part of it. That's a reality that we have to deal with. And the less I let it frustrate me, the longer I'll probably live without having a stroke. So I'm going to try to just... accept that it's a part of the process right now, and we're working on developing a solution for it. And we've had the resources to solve this in the past. It's just that we've had other things that were more pressing and more immediate needs. So, we have to keep that in perspective. I have to keep my mind on the idea that, this is something that we are working on. This is a part of what we're doing, and we are going to get to it. Just we're not quite there yet. So, I don't know. It's been fun. It's been a good night. I like the time travel. I like the cupcakes. A lot of food porn tonight. I like food porn episodes. That was one when Casey and I started doing some content creation. We were doing a blog out of the apartment in Tampa. We did a lot of dehydrated food photos and turkey or chicken breasts. We did chicken breast photos and food. People like to look at the food. That was before it became cliche on Instagram. We were doing the blog with the food. I think, or maybe it was right around the time that it was. Maybe we were just right in there with everyone else. I don't know. I like to think that we were somewhat ahead of the curve because we're a little bit of quick studies on these sorts of trends and technological tendencies and social media tendencies. So, had a nice content stream there. Put out some new photos, some original photos, some cupcake photos. Yeah. The cats. I didn't put a hashtag cats on the lump photo when I put that out there. I should have. Look at the. Bring that up. Screencast. Hashtag cupcakes. Ooh, somebody else has some nice cupcakes.
Yeah, those are prettier than mine.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they had some better tools to work with.
Yeah, I've never.
There's some nice ones.
Like, I'm not a baker.
No, this is just pure amateur. We're putting on amateur food porn here. It's okay.
I have no idea.
It's all right.
No idea what I'm doing.
Not a contest. Not a contest.
They were delicious, though.
They were delicious. They still are delicious. I'm gonna eat some more probably after we break here. I like how I zoom up and it goes to 110. I zoom down, it goes to 90. It's like, what do you go up by 10 but down by 20? That's really helpful. Huh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna start sharing more of the NASA photos because they're all really beautiful, and I know that's not my original content, but if you comment on it, if I write something about it when I post it.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm not trying to take credit for taking that photo.
No, you didn't take that photo?
No, I didn't take that with my iPhone 4S.
Oh. Uh-huh. Oh, the good friend. I should check in with the hack life, zombie life, all that fun stuff. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. There's the hack
Nice
life.
photo.
It is a nice photo, isn't it? I really like the colors. I really do.
I want to print that and put that on a t-shirt.
I know a guy that can do that.
Yeah, we do have one transfer paper left, don't we?
Huh?
How many more of the transfer sheets do we have left?
I don't know, 3. I think there were packs of 5. We used 2, right? Because you still have one. You can do one more shirt with a graphic just like the one you have.
Yeah, well, have you seen this one? I don't know. Viewers haven't seen this one.
Oh yeah, you only go full screen on there.
So,
Oops. You go to that one. There you go.
Hmm?
You're on the. You're
I'm
behind
on
the. You're
big
behind the
screen.
logo though. You gotta be lower.
So like my friend.
There you go.
He's a good friend.
He is a good friend.
You tired, friend? Are you tired? Sleepy. Come here, kitty. Meow.
Yep. Oh, pretty kitty. The Lumpington's still sleeping.
She wants to get fur all over the bin live. Oh.
Maybe we'll do a load of laundry during the break.
We need to do towels.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, because I want to take a shower, so
There's
maybe we
only
can.
one towel.
Dibs. I'm
That's
taking
my
a shower.
dirty towel.
Oh, dirty. Well, where did mine go? Are they already in the laundry?
That's the one in the kitchen I was telling you about earlier.
Oh, thanks. Alright, well. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But I'd like to take a shower, get a clean shirt on for our Sunday morning ministries, and do a number of other things in the 3-hour break. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we can accomplish between 9 and noon. Or before our 9 to noon broadcast, rather. Between 9 and noon, we'll probably get back to talking about millennial economics. We'll get back to talking about, watching millionaires play games instead of, working on advancing our own lives and, falling victim to the intentional distraction from self-improvement and such, falling into the plot of the elite ruling class. And, all those sorts of fun conversations that we like to have here. But in the meantime, I think that I'm going to go ahead and call it a night on our overnight marathon broadcasts. I think we ended up going for somewhere around not quite 8 hours. I mean, was it 10:15? So it would be, or no, maybe it's extra because of the extra hour, right? Because 10 to 6 would be 8 hours normally. So we got a 9th hour in there, right? Because it's 10 to 6 plus 1. But not really. So like 8 hours and 45 minutes because I was late.
You're sleeping.
I was sleeping. But I broadcast late.
I turned off the alarm. Why is he setting an alarm when he doesn't have to work?
Right? Well, yeah, because I told my audience that I would be here at 10 p.m. But yeah, quarter after. It's not like they were sitting here waiting anyway. We don't run that kind of operation here. It's very flexible, very relaxed, especially when we're talking about our overnight broadcast. When I'm going to be here all night, and I have been when I've been here for almost the last 9 hours. It's not exactly a rush to get going. It's more of a paced broadcast, and it was fun. We had a good time. I thought it really went well, and I look forward to doing this. On my days off from my wage slavery, I'm available to do the primetime stuff. So I like to do that on my first day off, and then the second day off, I'm going to take that one for me. So I'll be doing the Sunday morning broadcast, but in the Sunday primetime, we might stop in and do some fun stuff and show you what we're working on. But for the most part, we're going to be doing private in-studio activities. Like eating food without talking about it. Oh.
She'll take it.
Alright, thanks for tuning in. I'll be back at 9 a.m., so about 3 hours I'll be back to do the 9 a.m. to noon daily. But this has been the first overnight broadcast. And next time, live again. Nope, 10 p.m. No, that's not true. Hold on. Lies. Let me adjust those lies. I'm a liar. I'm a liar on the internet, as I've told you many times before. No, you're an attorney. I gotta adjust the lighting on that. I also have to adjust the way that it's rendered because it's gonna have to be done with cycles here in the future. But that's okay. That's where we want to adjust the time. It is now 9 a.m. EST. We are back to standard time. No more daylight time. So live again at 9 a.m. EST. We got that for you. All the friends. Hashtag good friend. Moose, Elliot, at Stupid Waffle, at Ben McNulty, at Hack Life, hashtag Hack Life, all that fun stuff.
And our friend the Garden Gnome.
Our friend the Garden Gnome. It was a good one. It was a good one. I enjoyed the overnight broadcast. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thank you, everybody who stopped by and contributed at some point to this show. I appreciate it. And like I said, I'll be back in 3 hours to give you your daily 9 to noon. And from there, we'll see. Thanks.